Welcome to the Hip Hop Minded Professional. With me, Joshua Rogers, as the Master of Ceremonies. If you're interested in knowing how rapping, DJing, breaking, graffiti, and the hip hop culture can positively influence your mindset, then you are in the right place. On this podcast, I speak to various professionals with a background in hip hop and go into how this background influenced their mindset and careers. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the next episode of the Hip Hop Minded Professional. And today I'm sitting speaking with... Yeah, but you get to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Duncan van Heyningen, also known as Deviage.
All right, Duncan, how was your day?
It was okay. I worked this morning, so Saturday. It's good. Sun was shining.
All right. And for the people them who
No
don't
cold.
know what you do as a daily day job, what is your daily day job?
My day job, I'm in the field of air traffic control. So I've been a air traffic controller for a while, since '97.
Okay.
Been working in the field for 26 years plus, and been working at the airport, controlling traffic. Moved up the ranks to supervisor, and right now I'm actually in charge of our training program, so manager of air traffic service training and development. Meaning
Okay.
I'm in charge of preparing our new controllers for our facility.
Okay. And how did you end up doing this? How did it come from passion or need?
Yeah, it's a job. I mean, it's not a job. I always tell people it's not a job. It's a career. Like air traffic control is something that you either like. If you don't like it, then you do it for the money. Eventually, the job won't like you, or the career won't like you, and you will exit stage, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really like a passion. It became a really passion, a love of mine, controlling planes. And as I progressed in my career, I felt the urge to give back to basically give back to the younger ones. So training wise and stuff like that, I really started liking or enjoying training the younger controllers that were coming onto the workflow, preparing them to go solo. And then, eventually I requested to do a instructor course. And eventually it happened. And 2012, I became a certified classroom and on-the-job training instructor,
Okay.
along with two other colleagues. And then, from there, it was, hey, are we going to start our own department for training? And we're going to start preparing and training our own people instead of outsourcing all the training to third parties. So
Yeah.
we had people that trained in Curacao, people that trained in Trinidad, some of them trained in Canada. So it was for us, it was trying to become more self-sufficient
Yeah.
as a providing air traffic control. So being able to train our own staff in-house, saving the company a lot of money, but also adding a lot of experience for us in the field of teaching our
Okay.
job.
Okay. And seeing as this is a podcast around hip hop, what is your hip hop background?
Whew. Hip hop background. Number one, Pop was born 1973.
Yeah.
Uh, my my first hip hop record was Rapper's Delight that I heard. Rapper's Delight. Soon after that was Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five, and all of these records. My pops used to collect a lot of records. He had over 3,000 records,
Okay.
and from the first time I heard hip hop music, probably at the age of like 5 or 6, I was hooked, and it became my favorite genre of music. has been affecting me throughout my life. Different moods, different music gives you different moods.
Yeah, yeah,
You can recall a lot of memories with what song was out or what
yeah,
song was
yeah.
hot.
In
Like,
which
yeah,
year?
remember this and this summer when Jay-Z had this and that song, and so yeah, music in general. I'm a big lover of music in general. Hip hop being my favorite genre, and yeah, so that led to me actually breakdancing at a very young age, 10 years old,
Yeah, yeah.
in the Netherlands when I was growing up. And at that time, it was what they consider a demo sport, demo dance type of
Yeah.
thing, because it was brand new in the Netherlands. It was around in the States for a couple of years already, but it was new in the Netherlands, and myself and one of my classmates actually used to tour city to city with a company in Holland at the age of 10 to open dance shows for the dance company.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun, and of course, I mean that's one of our hip hop elements,
Yeah,
b-boys,
yeah.
the b-boying. So yeah, after that we moved to St. Martin, where very few people knew what hip hop music was. A lot of people were into reggae dancehall. Dancehall was actually making a come up around the same time. For those that don't know, hip hop and dancehall music share the same granddaddy, the music form, which is ska. When ska came reggae, came dancehall, came hip hop, because Jamaicans is actually who are very instrumental in
Yep.
creating the art form of hip hop
Yep.
in New York, immigrants, So good thing Trump didn't build the wall back then.
If we had they had the current immigration policy, there would be no hip
Yeah,
hop.
we would not. There would be no hip hop.
No,
So
no,
yeah, man. I
nobody
mean,
would have
so
had the
so I've been
idea in the States to just start scratching some records and
nah,
starting a black
like
party.
hey, let's just use the breaks and have someone like say words over it, like
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, man. I mean, came to St. Martin. The group of people that was into hip hop was small, so it was easy for us to kind of form a circle, so to speak, a circle of friends that were into the same art form. So guys like I met guys like Toothpick like really early on,
yeah.
while when we were living in St. Martin. Toothpick, Ken Hook, Yogi, Jerome, Kali, like a whole lot of guys that we met from early. And it's more like just listening to hip hop music, still like really into it, buying my hip hop magazines. Back in the day, I had a Source and different magazines, which nowadays are obsolete basically because of the
Internet.
internet and so forth. Yeah, technology, man. But yeah, so I had a very big interest for hip hop music in general. Started working at the airport, and then my brother actually Rukshan started getting more into hip hop versus the dance hall that he used to do. And yeah, he went after Hurricane Lewis '95. He went to Holland, came back. When he came back, I came back around the same time from my course, my training in Curacao. And my brother and Toothpick entered a talent show, won the talent show in the hip hop category, and basically I started doing management for them,
Yeah,
regulating the booking, start to schedule a little recording sessions here and there. There were no director hard drive studios back then, so it was very difficult to actually we recorded on cassette tapes and stuff by DJs also.
yeah.
Um, so that's what we did back then, and yeah, from there we myself and Toothpick were like, hey, there's a good bit of guys out there right now that are rapping and doing whatever. Why don't we start an organization? So I think it was December '97 or early '99 or '98. We actually started the foundation called the Hip Hop Foundation, which we managed to have close to 30. 30 MCs sign up to be members of that organization. We did well for a year, and then egos started to take over, and I decided to get out and start my own organization, which is operational until this day, Deviage Entertainment. We came up with the first mixtape on St. Martin. First, our group was also the first to record straight to hard drive. That was the extra deep. You meet another guy. They did the first recording straight to hard drive. And we put out the first full length hip hop album. Some might dispute it, but the other album that was full length was a mix of R&B and hip hop, so it wasn't like a full hip hop album.
Yeah.
So we with Paradise in 98, 99, we actually dropped the first hip hop album on cinema full length. So yeah, we've been involved ever since, doing event planning to managing artists, managing DJs, traveling with DJs and artists. Yeah, just staying in touch with the industry, entertainment industry on a whole. Doing bookings. I also have done bookings be the booking agent then for festivals like the Regatta in St. Martin, where I booked artists for them 2 years in a row. So I've been busy.
Okay. So you
besides my day job.
Yeah, besides your day job, you're also heavy into the management. And if you take the lessons from the entertainment industry, can you apply them to the aeronautics agents? It's in your day job.
You could take a hip hop principle to any job in the world, because the simple fact that, for instance, for me, it was very important to teach guys how to read contracts and to ensure that they work with contracts so they don't get screwed over, which has happened a lot.
Yeah.
In that particular industry, but not just that industry. People made deals, they sign contracts and end up, for instance, losing a patent or losing an idea, a concept to a company, and then never got to recoup their money.
Yeah.
For the idea that was stolen. So contracts are very important. There's also the approach. For instance, when you have to perform, the approach you take to rehearse and to do, and just the preparation in being ready to hit a stage. Because that's the stuff that the fans don't see.
Yeah.
They don't see the rehearsal. They don't see the fact that the artist needs to study his catalog of music, study the itinerary of the lineup of his show to make sure that he doesn't forget the lyrics or doesn't forget the sequence of the concert and so forth. So a lot of studying actually goes in, a lot of preparation goes into performance, which is in essence the same as you perform, going in and giving a presentation to the board of directors of a company, for instance.
Yeah.
Making sure you're prepared, so that's another aspect. Another thing that hip hop has done for me personally, it has allowed me not to be afraid to speak in public, because of being present on stages for many years and many times. Public speaking doesn't faze me. A lot of people have issues with public speaking.
Yeah.
But in this case, for me, it's like, hey, you've done this. You stood in front of 3,000-4,000 people. Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Who the hell cares?
Been there, done that. So much people, and now it's 10. It's okay.
Yeah. It's actually more difficult for me to speak in front of smaller groups. Yeah. Like versus really big groups. Big groups, I could care less. Smaller groups, because it's a more intimate setting. It's a little more difficult, but still, I don't have an issue, especially now with 7 years of teaching under the belt.
Yeah.
is becoming easier as well. So yeah, man. I mean, like I said, you can apply principles of hip hop, the whole grind mentality uh, of hip hop. Uh, Always having to fight your way to the top, or making sure you reach to the top by all means necessary. That's also a hip hop mentality.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're if you're ambitious and you apply a couple of the things I just mentioned, then you should be able to at least advance in what it is you want to advance in. You know, preparation and so forth, and making sure that you have the hunger.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
without the hunger, we probably haven't seen all of the best artists ever because they weren't hungry enough.
Yeah.
You know, so same way you haven't seen, for instance, Steve Jobs Part Two because the person that could have been Steve Jobs the second wasn't hungry enough. You know, so these are all guys that when you look at them, they worked extremely hard and they were very passionate about what they were doing. And I find as an MC, if you're not passionate about your music and also not willing to invest in yourself,
Yeah.
uh, then music ain't for you, and maybe the business world ain't for you neither.
Yeah. 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 And if you take the lessons from air traffic controlling and flip it
Yeah.
to the other side, which lesson would you say, okay, that I learned in business as an air traffic controller helped me out
Oof.
in the entertainment sector?
Right. Found a lot. I don't know. As a controller, you learn to think quick. You learn to think very quick as we are actually problem solvers. We solve problems the whole day. These two planes going, coming like this. Which one you're going to descend? Which one you're going to climb? Which one you're going to turn? Whatever. And these are decisions that we make all day while sitting on a position. So you learn to make like quick split-second decisions. I think that has helped me in in meetings with clients or potential sponsors of events.
Yeah.
To kind of take what they say, and think quickly enough to flip it in a sense where you know what they want to hear and you know what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And by applying that, you get the results that you're kind of looking for. So there's the quick-wittedness, they're just being able to solve problems that has translated into a lot of my personal life. And although I pride myself actually of being able to separate the two, my work and my personal life, I always tell people when I reach the front doors of my facility, my personal life stops, my professional life begins.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I do my best not to take, done my best my career, not to take my work home with me, and also not to take my personal issues to the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I've done a pretty good job doing that and separating the two. I think I've separated it so well because up to yesterday, someone asked me, I was walking with my airport polo on, my uniform polo. And they asked me like, when did you start working at the airport?
Yeah.
Because they know me from the entertainment world. They know me from hosting parties and whatever.
Yeah.
And my work for Carnival with the Juke troops and stuff like that. They know me for that. So they figured that I was doing that full time.
Yeah.
And when they're like, huh? 26 years. Yeah. So I think I did a pretty good job separating my professional and personal life. And in this case, my personal life was partially my people say, like, when you say hobby, they look at me like, nah, dude, that wasn't no hobby because because y'all were going hard.
Yeah.
Y'all was going hard, like big parties, week-long events and all kind of stuff. So it's like, nah, that can't be a hobby. That has to be like something more than a hobby. And yes, it was also a passion.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of lucky in my life to have two passions that actually worked out for me, pretty decent. And yeah, entertainment has put me on several planes throughout the region, and also been to Europe because of entertainment several times. So yeah, I really appreciate the fact that I was able to see this. Say, Martin, that's the difference. They are cold. Here I got mosquitoes. I'm there like trying to stay focused and swatting at mosquito at the same time.
You're trying to do a Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, but chopsticks, pow, hold that. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's basically how it is, man.
And if you look
how it's been.
And if you look in the, let's say in the two sectors, do you see a lot of overlap in mindset, or do you see different mindsets for different moments or different industries?
I'll tell you this: you can compare controllers and MCs, because while they might not say it, everyone is trying to kind of be the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is trying to be that controller that everyone else looks up to. So the same in a cipher. Everybody's trying to shine. Everybody's trying to grab that number one spot.
Yeah.
So like it's pretty competitive actually. And I know you probably, like a lot of people, movies are a little old now, but pushing thin. It's one of the factors that actually kind of hit on the head, like the nail on the head, where there is competition amongst controllers, where as like, hey, I'm better than you or whatever,
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody is looking for those like bragging rights, just like MCs. So that's something that is very interesting. Like that question is that you're asking is like very interesting. It kind of like dawned on me while you're saying it.
Yeah.
That's actually like how it's been my career, So you have the OGs like on their way out, and you got a young buck stepping up like, I'm next.
Yeah.
I'm next. I am next.
I'm next. I'm better.
Yeah.
I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to show you how to do it.
Like, look, hear these 16 now.
Yeah.
Listen to this 16 now. Huh? You think you got bars? Look bars now. Look bars now. You think you had bars? Look. You think you had know to separate a plane? Look how you separate a plane now.
And if you look at I had a talk a while back with an MC who's also an accountant, and the link that he put in being an MC and being an accountant is the math behind of it. So the math of 4 bars to 16 or the halves. If you would look at air traffic controlling, comparing it to bars, would you see similarities?
Bars not per se, but sentence structure.
Okay.
I would say the sentence structure or the cadence, because it learns the same thing. As a controller, you learn the same thing. You learn what is a good separation versus what is not considered to be separated and stuff like that. But like the methodology of separating a plane, it differs from controller to controller. So I might have a specific way of solving a puzzle
Mm-hmm.
but somebody else has a different way of solving the same puzzle, and it's not necessarily that they're doing it wrong or I'm doing it right, but I just have a different delivery
Yeah.
of my style of control. So that's how you could compare it to, like, instead of just like straight rhyming just to the end, everything is the rhyming word to the end of the sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have like boom, you're switching it up in between, and you know, just switching it up and having a different method of rhyme patterns, so to speak.
Yeah. And if you look at your time in the entertainment industry, what is what is or was the biggest challenge you had over the years?
Challenge. One of the biggest challenge was trying to get 30 individuals to be on the same page. That was with the Hip Hop Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a challenge. Um, Challenges, man. Like, for me, like challenge. A challenge for me means that something was supposed to be like go to a degree where you have to like go above and beyond to
To
solve that
solve.
situation, or
Yeah.
to, yeah, that's like, to me, like that was a challenge, because working with, I mean, including yourself, working with y'all and Bandit and Ruction and Solano and whatever, that wasn't like a challenge to me, because that was like we became like family,
Yeah.
and it was very easy to work with y'all like that on that level. Now, versus working with some of the other artists we had on the roster with the foundation, it was like, boy, it was like they say, pull it, you know. So that was like a challenge, like back then, to get everyone to work on the same page. Challenges, I would say, like basically trying to make sure you meet all your deadlines, especially when it comes down to organizing events,
Yeah.
making sure everything is in place. Uh, and sometimes because of finances, it becomes challenging, and you have to kind of become a magician
Yeah. Yeah.
and see where you could pull and who you could influence to kind of like still contribute some kind of how to make your event a success. And yeah, that would be one of the more challenging points during my time in entertainment. Also, trying to build your international network
Yeah.
can be challenging, especially if you, like, now it's a lot easier now. Like, if you get somebody or somebody's attention on social media, for instance, Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
um, you already got like a foot in the door with that one person who already might have an established network available for you
Yeah.
if you work with it. So everything has changed through technology. I mean, there's people that were never ever in their life supposed to be DJs now DJing
Yeah.
because of technology. Um, there's singers that was never gonna sell a hit without auto tune. You understand what I mean? So like technology really helped. It helped a lot of people, like people that um, maybe now are big producers without free loops or similar programs that have to start with, and being able to do a lot of stuff on a laptop. That has helped a
Yeah.
lot of people, especially in the entertainment industry. That has kind of propelled, and at the same time it saturated the hip hop genre too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just hip hop, like all music right now is saturated. It's saturated, and it's really tough to sift through all the stuff that's available out there and find something that you personally would deal with, like you personally would listen to, or stuff like that. So I'm happy hip hop is making an actual comeback,
Yeah.
like real hip hop, bars, and and storytelling and stuff like that is coming back. So um, Q-Tip said it back in the day. He said things move in cycles.
Yeah.
Way that Bobby Brown is just amping like Michael, So it's like there's a repeat. Hip hop started as party, 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 happy, happy, happy. People dressing up. People looking at artists nowadays like, boy, the man dressed funny, and they got on tight pants, and they got on this, and they wearing that. But if you look at the origin of hip hop, there's a very good series on Netflix actually on that. You want to really learn about the history of hip hop. Netflix has an awesome documentary about hip hop, and you will see these guys started off wearing costumes.
Yeah.
Costumes and these big plateau shoes and all kind of stuff like that when they perform, and that was hip back in those days, you know. And then just you segue into the early 80s where you start getting the Run DMCs and those type of groups, and they started, you know, rocking their Adidas jackets and the Kangol hats and, you know, these type of things. And then, you know, so all of the dressing, the way they're dressing, the things they were rapping about, all of that started changing into, we get gangster rap, we get a very just movement of hip hop music. That was short-lived because I think the industry, people behind the industry, kind of didn't want that whole conscious vibe. They didn't want people. They didn't really want people to wisen up. So I think that's how we got to the point where we start. I mean, you used to call it ignorant rap. You know, ignorant rap. But everybody loved this have some ignorant rap. They can say what they want. You know,
it's about the vibe.
They just want some. Yeah, sometimes you just want to bounce to something that don't make no goddamn sense. You know, it's not always about intellect. You know, life is about balance. Life is about balance, and same goes for music. Same goes for anything in life. Life is about balance, and too much of anything is never good. So you gotta take the good with the bad, and the mumble rap with the lyricist. The trap against the boom bap. You know, you gotta take each one of them and just balance it, make it work for you.
So you got to go with the yin and the yang. Then
always.
If I go back to your challenge, for example, 30 individuals. I almost say egos there. Let me not say let me not say too much egos, you know, because sometimes people feelings just get hurt.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But if you look at that situation and compare those 30 individuals to, for example, 30 planes coming in, which one would have your preference?
I can tell you this. I would compare the 30 MCs to 30 controllers.
Okay.
Legit, because it's, again, you work in shifts, and you have to, I come in, I work, I try to be as professional as possible, leave whatever problems that do. And so it's professionals that you're going to work with on the workflow. Sometimes it's nine persons in a shift. But our department, for instance, has exactly 30 people right now working in it, right?
Coincidence, no coincidence.
Coincidentally, you know, but all the different personalities, like I mentioned, everyone has their own ways. Everyone has things that they do, different mannerisms and stuff like that. So that also, I mean, over the years, it's similar to like living with people. Like you get so used to their habits, and you get used to, you know, exactly, you could predict their next move and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but it's in essence, you have to figure out everyone's personality. Recognize the fact that not everyone works the same. Not everyone has the same speed in certain things. Not everyone is as tech savvy as the other, you know. So you gotta like really know who you could lean on for what, and figure out their strength, like the strengths and the weaknesses of those around you, you know. And the same I did with a HipHop Foundation. So actually, the people that followed me to Deviage Entertainment was the ones I had the most confidence in.
Yeah. And if you look at let's say the growth of Deviage Entertainment, I mean, it started as a local entertainment agency, which now
Yep.
actually operates internationally.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which lessons you take out of all of that growth?
Um, what I pride myself on a lot is being able to recognize talent at an early stage of someone's career, whether they already started or whether they are about to start. I pride myself on kind of recognizing the talent that people have. Um, and it leads me to like stories of me managing, for instance, DJ Outcast. It leads to stories of me being the first promoter to bring both DJ Prime and Wax Fiend to St. Martin. Them actually linking on St. Martin and having talks with St. Martin and building a relationship because of both of them coming to my events and in a way I was instrumental in putting those two guys together, and we see what the end result is of that. That is Encore Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Um, so I've worked and I've worked since it started the festival and all that stuff too. I've worked with them, try to bring DJs from the Virgin Islands to the Netherlands every summer, you know, and yeah, I mean that's all part of the network, but that was the result of me recognizing the talent in DJ Prime from early, and the talent in Wax Fiend from early, and the talent in Outcast from early, for me to kind of put my all behind them and kind of, yeah, I don't call it a gamble because I knew, for instance, that Outcast would do well,
Yeah.
that he would be able to make a career out of his skill, because of the level of the skill level and the discipline that he had at the time, you know, and a lot of talent and stuff that he learned from those that taught him the DJ game, you know. So I had to recognize those things, and yeah, picked up a couple DJs, a couple artists over the years on that same premise, and I must say almost everyone that I've worked with so far that I kind of semi-discovered um, has done well in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So I'm yeah, I'm pretty happy that I was kind of blessed with
Yeah.
that skill to recognize, you know. And to date, I have people approaching me like they want me to listen to their music and stuff like that. It's just nowadays I'm a bit too busy and caught up with the actual work, my
Yeah.
actual day job. So I don't get the time that I would like to have to dedicate to the industry. But I mean, we're still here. We're still doing stuff, still putting events together, and yeah, I don't think I'll stop right now. I ain't fully agree yet, so
And if you over the years, you've met a lot of artists, a lot of international,
yeah,
well established artists.
yep,
If
yeah.
do you see
Hang
a
out with a couple
common
of them.
do you see a common thread in their way of doing or their mindset that either led to their success or was kind of integral
You
to it?
can you can tell you can tell by having a conversation, not just by meeting them and shaking their hands, but by having a conversation with successful artists. Um, you can tell the type of work ethic that goes into their craft, the type of preparation, like I mentioned earlier. Preparation is very important. So like Akon, Akon, these guys. I mean, his DJ is from St. Thomas, um, and his DJ via his DJ. I actually got to meet him because we had a mutual friend when they performed in St. Martin, and I ended up hanging with them in one of the clubs at the time, chilling with them in the VIP and having a discussion with them. And yeah, I mean, a lot of guys are still like very down to earth, and approachable. As long as you get into that circle, you can really have a good conversation with them and have a discussion about like entertainment or life in general. And a lot of these guys, without the work ethic, the preparation, again, the hunger. Without hunger, you don't get anywhere. If you don't keep that fire in, like if everybody keeps talking about this fire in your belly and that's something that you cannot teach. It's something you cannot teach. You either have it or you don't, and that's where you could see like the one-hit wonders and artists that was around for a little while and then now they're no longer around. And it's probably not because they're bad artists or they couldn't put out another hit. Is the hunger and the preparation and the dedication and those things were just not here, in my view.
Yeah.
In my view, so you have people that have one-hit wonders that perform for the rest of their life around the world and make a living off of that one hit.
Yeah.
Which nothing wrong. I am not knocking the hustle, but those guys that really had like long careers, longevity in the game is because it kept the hunger. They kept the hunger and they kept wanting to kind of raise the bar on their own product.
Yeah.
Whether it's an MC, whether it's a singer or whatever, it's like constantly trying to raise the bar or reinvent your sound. Because if you check through, like there's a lot of artists that start with one sound, and as they continue throughout their career, the sound evolves, and that is also a sign of just being able to adjust and move along with the times and not be stuck in a time. So somewhere in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah.
Even though nothing wrong with the 90s when it comes to hip-hop, I'll tell you that much.
I'm going to get stuck in nostalgia, and then I have a particular love for that era. So
yeah, boy, good stuff.
And if you would take the lessons learned from the hip hop culture or listening to hip hop, what are the top 3 mindset lessons you would say, like, yeah, these are core?
Since I put a lot of emphasis on preparations, I think be prepared is one for sure. Be prepared. Invest in yourself. And when I say invest in yourself, it doesn't just mean money. It means spending the necessary time, honing your craft, developing your writing skills. So that's invest in yourself. So preparation, be prepared, invest in yourself, and I would say it might sound a little cliche, but be fearless. Be fearless, and in the sense where go for it, because without going for it, without putting all in, a lot of times you'll come up short because you're not in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But you gotta go all in. Like I know. I mean, one of the big success stories within our direct region is Rock City. Rock City did not stay in St. Thomas and try to make their way out of St. Thomas to splash on the international music scene. They actually picked their ass up and they went to Atlanta. They moved to the US, where in one of the, that's the hotbed for R&B and hip hop music right now. Atlanta, that's where they went. And although they were signed to Akon, they didn't, like, everything didn't move in the path that others chose for them. But at the end of the day, you still end up with a number one hit. Writing for multiple international artists,
Yeah.
multi-platinum artists and stuff like that. So there's different ways of making it in the entertainment industry. And those guys are they are loved. And in our region, they are loved. Their music is loved. And they do now the soca, they do the different things. Um I know Timo likes he loves his hip hop.
Yeah.
Like that's his favorite, definitely favorite, and he's like the basket of the two brothers, you know. But yeah, they've proven that hey, you can get it, but you have to go and look for it.
Yeah.
You
See.
know, if Benny D didn't move to the US, he wouldn't be Akon's DJ today.
Yeah.
You know, almost what how long? Close to what 20 years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 years, like close to 20 years working with Econ, you know, long career. And talking about like reinventing or whatever. Econ just dropped like two albums not too long ago, two brand new albums. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I can give you my entire music catalog in a show, but look, some new material here for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And so it's always about like artists that are hungry, artists that want to make an impact are always trying to do that next big thing,
Yeah.
you know. And so when I say be fearless, it means go out there and get it. And if you need to leave Samantha, leave Holland, leave wherever you are in the world, and for you to achieve your goal, or at least to say you gave it your best, because not everyone can be a big artist. Not everyone can, you know, everyone can be a songwriter
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Everyone can be a songwriter.
Yeah.
And it's a proven fact. There's a lot of songwriters out there eating real good.
Yep. Yep.
There's producers eating good. There's a lot of different people that do different jobs within the entertainment industry eating well. It's just you need to find what your strengths are and yeah, just go for it.
So
Go for it.
so the main thing is actually in life learn to be adaptable.
Yep, that's for sure.
And
Adapt to different situations. Be willing to do to take that extra step that others might be afraid of. Oh, I don't want to take the risk. Without risk, there is no success.
yeah. And if you look for yourself, I mean you find a sweet spot in juggling your personal career and let's say your professional career. Which tips to keep balance would you give to others?
The balance, my personal balance was in making sure that I leave my personal life outside of my workplace and vice versa. There's a lot of people out there taking their work home and it causes a stressful situation because if you had a bad day at work, you come home grumpy, end up having arguments with the person you're living with or whoever is in the house at the time
At the
might get
time,
it.
at the moment, yeah.
You know, yeah, yeah, because you're bringing that stress home, you know, and that is something that, like I said, for me, that has allowed me to keep balance and keep everything into perspective for me. Being able to separate also my family life from the entertainment life,
Hmm.
because when I split work and work and personal, but my personal is then split into entertainment and my family. And especially around the time when we just started, all of my kids were young. So they required a little more attention than when they get older.
Yeah, yeah.
Make sure that. So yeah, I mean, I that's one of the things I think that allowed me to deal with that is to separate and give each thing its due attention.
Yeah, yeah. And so it could be a lot of people listening. They'd be like, yeah, that sounds logical, but I just can't
Mm.
pull it off. So how do you pull it off?
It's very, it has a lot to do with being mentally strong. Being mentally strong, and because you have to have a certain, I wouldn't even say a personality, you have to have a certain outlook. Like, listen, this is what I'm going to do. Uh, that's how I'm going to do it, and that's it. So it's like what one thing people have to know too, and I mentioned the word stress a little while ago. Stress is always self-imposed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's nothing or no one that can put stress on you. So if you take it on, it becomes stress. If you deal with it in a certain manner, or even say if it's a task at hand that has you stressed, but you give yourself stress or anxiety because you trying to finish it or you can't finish it on time or whatever, then you're giving yourself stress. So that is something I try not to stress over things that number one, things I don't control. And work can always be completed tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, we have deadlines, but if you have a deadline and the time frame given to you was sufficient, then maybe you should start looking at the way you prepared yourself for it.
Yeah.
Start looking at your work habits, your techniques, and you approach having to do a task. Because if you had enough time, sufficient time was given to you to do a task, and you choose to wait the last minute to do it, then it's on you. That's your work ethic, is what gives you stress.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I say, you give yourself that stress. So that's basically is a mental, like I said, is you have to know as a person what your work method is, what you're comfortable with, because you don't want to work outside your comfort zone for too long. Because extended periods outside your comfort zone is also going to give you or make you go crazy on the damn job.
Yeah.
So try not to take on too much of the other people's skill.
All right.
Yeah,
And if you look at everything you've accomplished up until now, and then I'm going to look at the entertainment field. Was that part of the vision in the beginning, or did you adjust and let's say through the line further every time?
I adjusted kind of by force.
Okay.
I had to adjust by force because in 1 year time, all my MCs left to go to college.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of diversify, and that is actually what made me go into managing DJs and stuff like that. So, one thing kind of ending at that particular point in time opened the door for the next step in the management, which was managing DJs and starting to do bookings and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I mean, and it led actually us doing all the recordings and coming out with the album and all that stuff led to me actually doing radio for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, everything was because of us starting the HipHop Foundation. I ended up with Deviage Entertainment. Because of Deviage Entertainment and the albums that we put out, I ended up on radio. I ended up managing DJs. I ended up because of the radio, I actually started doing the events.
Yeah.
Because we started off with anniversary events for the radio program, and that turned into a bigger event, traveling and bringing Prime to St. Martin and bringing Wax Fiend and going to Holland and seeing the party concepts over there and bringing back one of the concepts and running there for like almost 10 years. So yeah, I mean, everything was just tied into each other as I went along. So I have been evolving um, ever since we started the movement back in '97, and right now I'm very interested in what else is there for me to evolve into.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, all I hope is that it's fun, that it's fun, and thing like that. And again, the radio program also led to us actually getting a booth in the Carnival Village,
Mm-hmm.
which that turned into a no-name booth into one of the biggest brands in Carnival,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
but alcohol. So like every single thing, when you look, it could tie right back to the Hip Hop Foundation and Deviage, starting Deviage Entertainment in '98. Everything ties back into each other from from everything that I've done in entertainment. So yeah, it's a continuously
Continue.
changing game. Is only I can decide if I'm done with it or not.
Yeah.
And as long as there's opportunities for me to continue and do different things, and maybe start doing different events, a different type of event, uh, or focusing more on international bookings for DJs or whatever. Who knows? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I don't uh, rule out anything for
Anything.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't rule out anything when it comes to entertainment. It's still one of my passions, and sometimes I say, man, I wish I could have done it like for real for a living.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I wasn't trying to get rich off of entertainment.
Yeah,
Let me put it that way. So I made a little change. I made a little change. I was able to travel and do whatever, and just be able to have a good time with the people I appreciated being around. And yeah, that's about it. So I didn't do any big $400,000 budget or $500,000 budget shows. I did work on those type of shows. I
yeah.
did work for them. Uh, you know, organize opening programs, do stage management, and different stuff like that. So, and again, everything is because of us deciding to start a hip hop foundation back in '97. So, yeah.
And then if you look at the professional side of the professional side of life, so in the air traffic controlling,
hmm
do you see it kind of the same way, or is it maybe a different path or
The
drive?
diff, the difference, the difference with my personal, as in like family, or I would say yeah, family, or my personal accomplishments as me,
Mm-hmm.
along with my career. The only difference is that I set goals from a young adult age.
Okay.
I set personal goals. Um, when I was on the course, I was doing my training in Curacao, and that same while I'm doing the training, I set personal career goals um, for myself at
Mm-hmm.
work. Um, for instance, one was to make sure that I was a supervisor before the age of 40, uh, which I became a supervisor at the age of, I think, 30, 38.
Okay.
I set personal goals as in wanting to have my own house by the age of 30. We accomplished that at the age of 31. Like these is goals that I set from when I was um, 19, 20, 21.
Okay.
And that would be another advice from a professional standpoint, is to always set goals
Yeah.
for you as to where do you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in 10 years, when you want to be in 15 years, what do you want to accomplish before you reach like certain milestones in your life, whether it's 35, 40, 45, whatever. For instance, you could ask yourself too, like, when do I want to be financially stable or financially, they call it self-standard, self-sufficient.
Yeah, self-sufficient. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so all of these things are things that you could set these goals from a young age. And the important thing with goals is that you write them down. You write them down, make it something that is attainable, something that you can accomplish. Don't write down like fairy tale goals. Write down goals that are attainable. Write down goals that you should be able to reach once you put the best of your work into it and you prepare and you do whatever you gotta do to reach it. So that's the difference between the entertainment for me and the personal / career. Is that for personal and career, I actually set several goals for myself to achieve for the duration of my life. For instance, one of my things is I want to retire before I reach 55. So that is timeline is still going, and so far I am not looking too bad.
All right, you're on track.
I'm not looking too bad, and but those are things. I mean, like, I did it. It really worked for me. It might not work for everyone, but it's something that I've been to like different sessions with entrepreneurs or people that are discussing or talking about growth or change or different skill levels that are trying to teach you at work, or you follow a course, and they will tell you like, yeah, you gotta set goals, and I was here and I was like, yep, thank you for like letting me know that I kind of like took a good approach in challenging myself, because the goal is a challenge to you. You gotta hold yourself accountable. That challenge is for you to accomplish this by this or that. Only you can either happen, or the deadline can go, or the goal that you set can pass and you never reach it. And you might be happy at that point in time in your life too, like, hey, I satisfied with what I have, or satisfied with what I'm doing, and forget about those goals that I set for myself, because I found my niche. This is what I like.
Yeah.
You could set a goal to it, like you say, you could evolve, you could like change and say, hey, I ain't into that no more. Like, I like this now.
Yeah.
So all of that is possible. Like in my case, it worked out pretty good. In my case, because I chose a career where people don't easily just jump up and look for another job.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be a controller and then like one day say, hey, I want to sell insurance. That just doesn't happen. Like, it would happen if you don't like the job or you don't like what you do. Which I mentioned like somewhere way earlier.
Yeah.
Like ATC will get rid of you. You don't need to get rid of ATC.
They'll take
ATC
care of it.
They'll take care of itself. I tell my students, ATC will chew you up, spit you out if you ain't made for it.
Yeah.
If you're made for it, that's it. Because it is a job where a lot is expected of you. It's considered one of the higher stress level jobs in the world for a reason. Just having the fact that you have to deal with thousands of lives every time you sit down behind that microphone, versus an MC that's trying to affect thousands of lives when he step behind a microphone.
Yeah. one trying to affect, and one is actually
I try not to affect.
Yeah.
Try to keep them safe. Yeah, man.
All right. And if people want to reach out and contact you, where are you findable?
I'm all over Facebook, Instagram. I think I changed my Facebook is right now my personal, just my regular personal name. It used to be Deviage Van Heyningen, now it's just Duncan van Heyningen. We have our Facebook page, official Facebook page, Deviage underscore ENT. Instagram is just Deviage. I'm on Twitter too, but I don't rap with Twitter much. Twitter is like a Holland and US thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of, St. Martin ain't really into Twitter like that. St. Martin is Instagram, and the younger folks might still do Snap or whatever, but it's mainly like Instagram, Facebook still. So I mean, I have a Twitter account. I go on it from time to time, but I don't personally see the purpose of having to read something while if I post it on Facebook, it's the same damn thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Instagram thing, I could kind of feel that, but because you're kind of telling a story with the pictures you post and videos you post and whatever. I could kind of get at Twitter. I don't really see the purpose of it besides staying current with whatever out there available on the market.
and even for that, you can still use Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, I use a lot. I use Facebook quite a bit. I've started using Instagram a lot more. I kind of like people's attention spans have decreased dramatically. As technology improved, people's attention spans have been getting shorter and shorter. And this is something you can probably Google it and check it out to see it's fact. So Instagram is good, especially for the short attention span population that the world has right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I see a picture, I get what he's doing. I see a little short video, I get what you're doing. And you just keep scrolling through. You go on the stories. Oh, this is what you're doing, that way you're doing. Okay, good. So it's really good for the people that do not have the attention span or who have willingness to sit down and read a whole paragraph.
Yeah.
And that's where I figure like Twitter would make sense for the people that do use it frequently. The 140 characters or less or whatever is something quick. You type something quick, you read it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just ain't my cup of tea.
All right. So people can find you on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, I'm on Twitter.
And
it's what it is.
I could imagine it could be there some DJs listening or some MCs listening. Someone in the entertainment industry. Are you still looking for new talent, or you're on a pause and chilling with the roster?
I always have my ears open and listening, and when I hear some stuff that I really like, I try to use my network a little bit, and if it's something that I bump into, then I try to get the attention of some other guys, some DJs, that international DJs. Hey, take a listen to this. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think or whatever. So, am I actively looking for persons right now? Not really. Truth be told. I'm not actively looking. However, if a situation presents itself, like I mentioned earlier, we can start back over. Yeah, start back over, make it a cycle too,
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for your time, for being a guest on the podcast. It's highly appreciated. And for all those people,
if it's too long, you better edit it.
Not editing anything. This podcast doesn't get edited. It is what it is. It is what it is. It flows how it flows. So, for all those people listening, tune into the next episode. Subscribe and do all that good stuff. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Hip Hop Minded Professional. Make sure to subscribe at your favorite streaming platform so that you don't miss the next episode. And make sure to visit hiphopculturecoaching.com for more information on how hip hop helps your mindset.